Hi everyone! Today I will be showing you how I did this amazing bag I called Caramel Coffee. Let's start from the beginning, right? So I picked up a piece of paper and I folded it in half so the proportions are symmetrical, right? So I draw it on one side and then I cut out and basically the rest reveals itself. I decided to go for like this unique shape which is kind of like round and wavy at the same time. It kind of resembles a butt but not so accentuated. It's kind of like it reminds me of a horse saddle. I don't know why, but it's kind of like it's an interesting shape. And so I cut it out and I decided to add a little bit more height to it because it was too small in my opinion, so that's what I did. Also, just a reminder, I don't add the seam allowance, so if you want to add seam allowance you place like 1 inch or 1 centimeter more on the sides and on top, so then you have the seam allowance. Do however you like it, but I don't add the seam allowance to the bag, I just trace it out. And so here I measure the size of the half and then I multiply it by 2, which will be 54, just to know how much I will need for the pattern that will be the base of the bag. Then I add a little dart in the middle bottom on each side, so basically it helps me figure out the curve that I want. I measure one dart from another on each side, which will be 15 centimeters, and then I measure from the top to that dart, which will be 19. And so on the next pattern piece that we are creating, this is like the base of the pattern of the bag, which will be the 54, and then we start adding the measurements, the bottom dart, the middle, and which I folded in half, so the middle is on the fold crease. And as my width for this bottom piece, I decide to put 6 centimeters, and then from the dart that I placed to the top of the bag, I will add a little bit more, which will be 9 centimeters in total, so there's a little more interesting shape going on. More on the sides, not on the dart, but on the sides there will be a little bit more bulkiness and curviness. For this, I'm shaping out and making it more rounder. You can use a French curve if you want, but I did it with my hand, and it will help maintain a curvy and nice shape. And this is how it looks unfolded. So you can see there's a little bit more bulk on the sides, which will make the shape more pronunciated and interesting. As for the handle, you double the amount that you want on the handle. So basically I wanted 36 and I make it 72. This is a half of the handle. Then I will add the other half when we are going to be cutting out the pattern pieces. And it's going to make the handle more creased when you push it to the 36 centimeters. So as you saw on the video, and in the end you will see how it came out. For this bag I used the leather that was from a thrifted jacket that I bought a few years ago. I didn't want the bottom part of the jacket, so I decided to make a nice bag with it because it has a beautiful and soft leather with this caramel color, so why not use it? And so I took out the inside lining and I used the leather itself. Here I'm creating a design for the front panel, something more curvy, more shapy. I just freestyled and made it like a splash of I don't know, of caramel, of coffee, you know. And I used some golden faux leather for this front panel design, and that's what I cut out. And to glue it on, I just used some leather glue. Also, you will see quite some weird angles like this one in the video because sometimes I'm just so focused on what I'm doing that I'm not really thinking about if the camera can see what I'm doing, but I do my best to show you exactly what I do so you don't miss out and you can actually do something similar. Look at that, beautiful. So then I add the top stitching on the front panel. And I use the old blanket for the structure of the bag, and then I attach them together. I decided to make a few more designs for the side, like the base of the bag, so it also has a little bit more detail. So a few splashes. I didn't even draw it, it was more like a freestyle splash type of thing. Here I'm stitching the handle, which you will see it's pretty big, but once we reverse it and make it smaller, you will see how nicely it comes out. I decided to take the bulk out of the seams so it's easier to reverse it. For the base and to give more structure to the handle, I will add this little strip, and this has the exact amount of the size of the handle that I want. So basically I do this to stop fraying, and I place it inside of the handle, and this is how it comes out. I use this metal thing, which I don't remember the name, to push it inside to the other side, and I make sure not to let the end of the rope get out of the leather handle. So basically they are attached to both ends and they are not moving. So basically the handle is secured, and then I loop it around the ring and I stitch it, double stitch it. This is how it looks finished. And then I attach the panels, the internal panel with the outside together so they don't move and I can work easily with them. I make the piping, which is basically to give structure to the bag, which you see on the sides of the bag. I pick up a rope and I fold a piece of faux leather in two, basically, and I place the rope inside and I stitch it like that. Then I have to cut it so it goes around the bag roundly, nicely, without creating any like weird shapes. It has to be cut so it can move and fold around easily. Then I stitch it to one side of the panel, to the edges, and at the end of each side in the top, you let the piping go over the panel so it's closed in without like any rough shapes or edges. It goes into the bag seamlessly. Then we attach the bottom part to the bag, right, to the piping, without having to redo it all again. We just attach the piping and the front panel, then we attach the bottom together as the other things are attached. I hope you are understanding what I mean. So things are not out of place because it's very hard to attach the piping without messing it up. So it's better to attach first the front panel, then you attach the bottom panel. And this is how it looks. You adjust it, see how it's looking. And for me it's looking well. You can see that the top piping is looking very nicely, going inside seamlessly, and I attach the same way the back panel, and this is how it looks. As for the little hoops, I use these two things that already were in the jacket, but you can make them easily if you want to. And I cut out a little hole for the bottom hole, and it will be the things that hold the handles together. Then I create a little lining for the bag. I use this nice orangey wool, and then I double stitch, if that's the name, I think. Just over stitch basically the thing, and then I cut on the curves so when it's folded inside the bag it's looking structurally sound and nice. Then I place it inside the bag and I cut the bulk obviously, and we attach it to the bag itself to top stitch it. Again, this is a weird angle, but I'm gonna try to explain you. I use two types of buttons. I use the big button that will be on the outside, this one, and then I use a smaller button, which will be the thing that holds the button as well as that little handle in place, and that's how you attach the handle itself. To close and open the bag, I stitch on this thing, which I forgot the name in English. I'm not sure, but everybody knows what this is. This is like those things. I didn't have a zipper, so I used a purple nice thing, and that's how it's done. It's finished. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I wish you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to me and my IG, Dari Krutsiuk. Make sure to check it out on my Linktree, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.